Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings today. We have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news reads, Rotimi Amaechi mock his attackers, says their evil plot failed woefully. Don't forget that Amaechi was attacked at Madrid, Spain, and this time around he's blasting his attackers, and he said that actually he was not beaten and the evil plan fell woefully. But we're going to listen to details of this news. But before we continue, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. All right, let's listen to the news.
The Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amaechi, has disputed the claim by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, that he was beaten in Madrid, Spain. The former governor of Rivers State said the Spanish policemen protected him from the misinformed miscreants, he said. The spokesman of IPOB, Ima Powerful, in a statement made available, said that the group beat the minister and that the action is in alliance with the order given by IPOB leader MNK. In the statement made available to the media on Saturday, Amaechi denouncement reads in part, "We must clarify that in the incident of the attack yesterday on the minister in Madrid, where Amaechi was part of the official Nigerian government delegation to the United Nations UN Climate Change Conference COP25, IPOB members did not beat, physically assault, or cause any bodily harm to the honorable minister," he said. The statement stated the IPOB members' intention was to beat up the minister and inflict harms on him or worse, but their evil plot was foiled thanks to the timely intervention of the Spanish police. But their violent evil plot failed woefully due to the dexterity of the Amaechi to resist them, protect and defend himself, and the prompt intervention of the Spanish police, who repelled the motley crowd of misguided attackers. Even the video circulated online by the attackers confirmed that much. All right,
thank you very much. You've heard what Amaechi said, that actually against what the response of those who beat him up, I'm talking about the IPOB group that beat him up, he's coming out to tell them that actually that he resisted them. Maybe he has some acrobatic skills, so by the time they threw a punch at him, he just, swave it off and, thank God for, according to him, thank God for the timely intervention of the Spanish police who stopped the Mammon crowd to carry out their plot against him. But then Ima Powerful had come out to tell Nigerians that Ima Powerful, who is the spokesperson to IPOB, came out to tell Nigerians that he was actually being beaten and harassed, and that they are going to do it more and more because it's an instruction that they got from their leader. But he's coming out to mock them and tell them, that it is untrue what they say, that he was actually not being beaten. But personally, looking at the statement made by Amaechi, Rotimi Amaechi, who is the Minister of Transport under the Buhari cabinet, I feel that looking at comparing his response with that of Ekwere Madu, the Deputy Senate President, former Deputy Senate President, you will see some differences. But I want to first of all start with my colleague. Now, I want us to compare their responses. You know what the Deputy Senate President, former Deputy Senate President said, and what Amaechi say. Can you talk about the maturity in their statement? Who is more matured, in reply to the attack?
Well, if you want to go by maturity, then it's not in doubt. Ikweremadu was much more matured. Despite the fact that he was beaten, he didn't go ranting online. In fact, he felt it was a case of he didn't carry his people along, and he didn't fault them either. He just said he was fine and all that. Even though it trended, you didn't see him coming against his own people. But I would have expected, apart from maturity, I expected much more from Rotimi Amaechi. Honestly, from his statement, he disappointed me, because that's a leadership role. Sometimes as a leader, you tend to, like Professor Sage once said to what's that his name again? Oshomole, yes. Professor Sage said something to Oshomole. He said, as a leader, you must stoop to conquer, because most times there's some things your followers will do, tend to let it go because they're seeing a bigger picture. He is a minister. He was two-time ex-governor of Rivers State. He should know better than mockishly or saying that IPOB members failed woefully. Are you challenging them that next time when they see you, this time they should beat you very well? Are you saying that when next they come, they should carry not water again, no, not stones. They should carry knife? Is that what you're saying? I would have expected something much more better as a speech, as a reply, as a retweet from you. Not to say they didn't beat me, I defended themselves. Are you now equating yourself as a leader now to those who you are supposed to explain to? I would have expected him to say this, that my fellow people, please maintain some sort of decorum, be patient with the government of the day, we are working something out, we have started to do, begin to carry them along on some of the practices. You are in the cabinet, you are with the government, you are in the government, and you are with the president. You know what plans you people have for Nigeria. We don't know. If you don't carry us along, we will not know. So I would have expected him to come say, please, this issue of beating public officers in diaspora is not good. It doesn't speak well of Nigeria. Let us put hands together to make Nigeria good. Let's look at what we have on the pipeline. Like when I went down there, this is what I want to do to represent Nigeria on an official duty. Okay, we started buying trains. This is what, so that anger to be quelled. Because sometimes yes, but to be quelled to some extent. Okay, at least let's see what they will do or something. Or you can even go about saying, okay, look at what we have done. We are sorry of the past, but we are working, we are changing, and we are making amends. Please, going forward, give us some time. If we don't do this, we won't do this. Remember, in the past, I can still remember Rotimi Amaechi said this. He said that the time we come in Nigeria, that Nigerians should start stoning any of their leaders who is not performing. He said so. And IPOB has started going by his words. I mean, years back, he said this. Years back. And now it's coming to pass. And instead of him saying things that should quell the anger, he said it, and they're taking his words to pass. They're bringing his word to pass. And he's saying, no, they did not beat me. Are you now saying that this time around they should get ready for you? I feel that response was so very immature. Sometimes I think these leaders, they should have people who should, censor their words and say, okay, look, this word is not too nice coming from you and all that, because you're a leader. And so that you don't begin to bring forth, unnecessary rivalry. Now, with what he has said, some other IPOB members in other states, in other countries, will begin to wait for him to say, if Spain failed, we will not fail. Now it has now become a competition. Who will beat Amaechi? Which group or which country or which set of Nigerians in diaspora will hold this Amaechi and humble him because of his statement? Because you have just dared them again.
All right, thank you very much. You well said. I think it's important for us to let certain people realize that we are different. You see an angry mob of people that are dissatisfied because of the things that are happening in the country. They have a quest for something, and because they have not been given, the IPOB has been around for a long time. It didn't just start, and they're agitating that they should give them, and they had promised that, hey, for those who are looters in Nigeria, they will not stop beating them whenever they see them. And you know that these guys are already angry. They have reasons. They have stated their reasons, it may not be reasonable to you, but to them it's overly reasonable. And they've stated the reasons why they have to be beating every leader that they see from Nigeria. And you just escape by whiskers, which you even had to thank the people for their prayers and their support, which therefore means it was actually an act of divinity that saved you from the angry mob that came against you. Maybe they beat you up, or maybe they did not beat you and all of that, but I think that the ideal thing to say is not to begin to taunt them, is not begin to talk them down, because you have just energized them right now. That's what you've succeeded in doing. And you've not only, you've not energized them against yourself alone, you've energized them against every other leader. So were you looking at a situation whereby God would have given them an opportunity to beat you and hold you and say, Amaechi, tell the people that we have beaten you? Is that what you wanted them to do? Which will be really, really absurd. Like my colleague had rightly said, you are a leader. Amaechi is a leader, a great man who had ruled Rivers State for 2 times. He had also been a ministerial appointee for also 2 good tenures. So this is the second one. So which therefore means you should be conversant with leadership. You should know the way you talk. We are not competing here. You're trying to make the country more habitable for the people. You're trying to make the country, make the people realize that the cabinet you're under is doing everything within its reach to ensure that they give them a better life. So even when they come from the other side, you shouting on them, talking back at them, trying to let them realize that you hate them does not work. There's a way that you talk to them and you quell their anger. Say, well, however, that Amaechi guy, I like the way he talks. Whether you like it or not, you're going to create some kind of mixed feelings in between them. Some persons will say, no, get out, let him get out. We're still going to deal with him. Some will just, even though they may not say it out, but somehow their anger has been controlled. But for you to say, hey, look you're only trying to tell them, go back and do your worst, which means they're going to make sure that the itinerary of all Nigerian political appointees and governors and everybody, they will have it, well spelled out, and they will, follow it accurately to make sure when they beat, they will tell. They will tell. Look at the president, that's Buhari, is a wonderful, wonderful leader, because despite the fact that there was a time that they were saying that they're going to do this to him, he never made mention of anything. Sometimes when these guys come around like that and say, we're going to beat you over, it's better. Silence is more better. Silence is golden. Silence is a display of maturity. Silence is trying to tell them, we understand what you guys are passing through, and we're trying to do everything within our powers to ensure that we put you at the... Silence is a way of curbing your anger. It shows a lot of maturity. And this is what we are expecting from our leaders, so coming out to mock them, talk them down and all of that does not show that you are really, really grown. All right, the same.
Their issue of silence, that's for those who are private. Because as a public servant, you have every right to speak. You don't own your life. Private people can be silent because you don't, but for the public servant, you have every right to tell us where you are at per time.
What I mean by being silent is in respect to if you realize you don't have a better response to give when issues like this beating up a politician comes up. Maybe they tried beating you up and they couldn't, and you just came out and said to the people, well, some guys wanted to beat me up. Thank God it did not happen. Thank you for your prayer. And they now said they beat you up. There's no need of you talking back at them and all of. There's no competition. It's not a competition. You're trying to exchange words with them, it doesn't really make sense. Instead of that, pacify them, trying to tell them, well, there's a bigger picture ahead of us and let's get focused there. Let's forget about it. I could still remember when Ekweremadu was beaten. That one was clear. Everybody saw how he was being manhandled. When he came back, instead of trying to talk down on it, was just telling them, well, for him, let God forgive them. And and everybody were like, wow. I can assure you that if they see Ekweremadu again, they will not beat him again, no matter what, because that man showed some high level of maturity, and Nigerians really respect him for that. If they do, I can assure you that a lot of people will really, really speak against them. So these are some of the things we should try to quell. The anger the whole thing is so high right now. Bring it down with your words. let them start realizing that there's a better way to go about it. Their leader, Nnamdi Kanu, normally said that it's not by carrying weaponries and all of that, that he's going it through diplomatic means, which is, the ideal way to do things. All the same, that's where we're going to leave it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you can get notifications.